Hello everyone and welcome to a very delayed edition of the monthly StephenVlog Q&A video. As you know, this is June's video. It was supposed to come out at the end of June and it is now the middle of July. But if you've been keeping up with the vlog, you are aware that we've been on vacation. We've been in Wisconsin for 3 weeks and we did not record a Q&A before we left. We were too swamped, so we are getting to it now. So I apologize, but that's okay. In fact, it's a good thing because that means that you'll get the next Q&A in 15 days. Probably, maybe. We're actually in the process of moving, so things are getting a little insane. Anyway, if you're not familiar with how this works, basically go down to the comments below, ask us any question, and we may choose to answer your question here on this video type thing in a month, which is actually going to be like 15 days because we got started late on this one, but you guys get the idea. Okay. The first question this month is from Supersonic Rules 101, and he asks, sometime earlier in 2012, on one of the vlog days when you were accepting video responses for your network spotlight on the game station, you said that there would be a director's cut of the network spotlight, but it never existed. Did you not want to do it, and if so, why? Well, I did want to do it. In fact, I would still like to do it, although now I am just going to say it's not going to happen. There's too many times where I want to do something really badly and I just keep prolonging it, and then it just never exists, and in my mind I'm like, this is never going to exist, and I should really just stop prolonging it. Nintendo is not like that. Nintendo will come back, but I'm serious. But the director's cut of the TGS thing basically is, you know, there were so many people that submitted video responses, and I watched all of them twice because I watched them all once and I watched them all again to figure out how to utilize them best in the network spotlight video. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that, I'm gonna put a link to that in the video description below. It came out really great, but you know, there was just so much footage we couldn't use everything, and I wanted to do a director's cut so I could include it all. The problem is time. It takes time, and if you guys have been watching for a while, you know that Daily Pack doesn't get updated, Nintendo doesn't get updated. It's just I'm doing so much that I'm running out of time to do everything I want to do. So unfortunately, the director's cut never came to be just because I'm too pressed for time. So if I had the time, I would love to do it. Although I don't have the footage anymore, but you know, I could get it. It's on YouTube. But anyway, that answers that. The next question is from Walenium, who says, I was wondering why it is that Stephen always drives whenever you go driving. Is it because it's Stephen's car, or it's just a thing of habit?
Few reasons.
What are your reasons?
My car does not have air conditioning, and we live in the South, and it sucks to drive my car most of the year, and
I can't drive her car.
That's the other reason. Number two is it's a stick shift, and Stephen doesn't know how.
So we pretty much have to take my car. In fact, Mallory's car is broken and is
currently,
yeah, down there dead right now because of bad things. But anyway, we normally take my car because it's just it's a better vehicle. I mean, it doesn't get the same gas mileage as the car does, but you know, it's a good vehicle. It's been fairly reliable, more reliable than her car. And since it is my car, I like to drive it, and I also like to drive. Like, given the option of driving and being a passenger, I would rather drive. I prefer driving. So that's why I want to drive and not just let her drive. Although she drives occasionally.
I like driving.
I like driving more.
I like sleeping.
She sleeps really, really well. She's an expert sleeper when we're driving. Like, especially because I'll be like, all right, now Mal, we didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I need you to stay awake, to help me stay awake so we can drive 6-7 hours. She's like, okay.
Then
like
Stephen turns on talk radio NPR and I fall asleep.
No, I don't even have to do that. 20 minutes in, Mallory's asleep. And then she wakes up and she's like, do you mind if I sleep? And I'm like, you were already sleeping. Like, obviously it doesn't matter. Anyway. iHeartNinjas24 asks, I was creeping old videos on your xfis channel and noticed you used to have a fairly thick-ish accent. My question to you is, did you simply outgrow it, or was it a conscious effort to speak without it? If it took effort, was it difficult and did it take long? It's not something I consciously tried to do. I think in my subconscious, I probably knew about it, My accent has never been as thick as other people that I grew up with and around. I grew up in South Carolina. I had a lot of friends who had really thick accents, really,
Think Boomhauer on King of the Hill.
like twang accents. And mine was never that bad, but I think that probably going to college and getting away from that a little bit might have helped. And also, like I said, it was not something I was trying to change, but I think subconsciously it was one of those things that, I need to distance myself from the Southern accent because you are taken less seriously if you have, and that's not like me saying that, but that's just a thing. You want to, if possible, you want to try and have the most neutral accent that you can possibly have, because then people don't start making assumptions about you just from the way you're speaking. They don't judge your intelligence or anything of the sort, because it's sad to say, but if you have a Southern drawl, people tend to think you're, there are people who will think that you're stupid right from the get-go, and that's not cool because it's not true. So I like I said, it wasn't a conscious thing, but I think subconsciously it was like, get rid of this if you can, which would be conscious. Whatever. But no, it wasn't something I tried to do. Mallory's accent is actually pretty mild. I know if you guys have watched some of the vlogs where Carly has spoken, Carly's accent is really strong, like punch you right in the face. And Mallory's isn't like that. But yours just has never been like that.
No, it hasn't, but it's also changed a lot.
So you're probably a lot like me. Mm-hmm. Where it was never really that strong, but it's probably gotten even less than it was to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we were made for each other, obviously. ChucklesTHC says, Stephen and Matt, was it awkward the first time you met your roommates from college? Even though it's a long way off for me, I'm sort of dreading the moment.
I had more than one roommate. I started off rooming with my best friend Stephanie, and it was fantastic. And everyone was like, you're gonna hate each other. No, we didn't ever. It was the best thing ever. And then I transferred schools, and I was given a random roommate who happened to be from Spain. And she was very cool, and she had a lot of neat experiences, and we talked a little bit, but it was awkward. I didn't feel comfortable being around her. It was like a night and day difference from being with my best friend, who we could stay up late and do whatever and didn't have to worry about being loud because the other one was up playing video games, to roommate going to bed at 9 o'clock and being like, well, guess I have to go back to typing instead of talking to Steven. Then I moved in with Haley 3 months later.
Yeah. And
Haley was just open from the beginning. I had met Haley only 3 months before I moved in with her. But Haley is really an open, fun person, so...
Open and fun.
She was like, let's decorate the room! And we put like 5 different strands of Christmas lights on our bed. Like our bunk bed.
It seems like a fire hazard, really.
It might have been.
So, your experiences were mostly positive.
Yeah, it was awkward meeting roommates I didn't know, because after Haley left, then I moved in with some other girls I had no idea. One of them ended up smoking pot, and it was awful, and I moved out of there.
My experiences were good. But, just talking to other people I've known, there are bad experiences. So it's not something that you should dread, it's just something that you should be consciously aware of when you go into college, that
it could be good, it could be bad.
It could be good, it could be bad, and if you have a bad experience, get out of it early so you have time to connect with other people, so you're not halfway through a year and then you have to try and connect with other people who are having bad experiences. Because I have talked to people that, they got into college and the roommate that they got hooked up with they sucked. They were not compatible in any shape or form, and it just didn't work out very well. So just keep that in mind when you get to that place, when you get to college, that it may not work out, and if it doesn't work out, change it.
And it could be really awesome.
Yeah, it could be like me and Alex. I mean, technically me and Alex hated each other like really bad for like the first year, secretly. But after that we became really good friends, so mileage may vary. Next question is from Fotownkids. It says, do you have any secret talents?
No. I can cross my eyes.
Mallory picks out these questions, Mallory picked out the question. Do you guys have any secret talents?
I wondered if you did that you've never told me.
Like, I review the questions, and when I got to that question, I was like, oh, cool, Mal's going to talk about her secret talents. No, Mallory picked the question that she could not answer, because occasionally we get questions that we don't have answers for, which is usually, if we get those, we don't answer them because we would just be like, well, I don't know what to say because we don't have this. So that's why some of the questions get skipped. You don't have any secret talents.
Ballet?
I mean, Mallory used to be a ballet dancer.
I'm .2.
So yeah, she does the...
Lovely.
I know, right?
Your foot takes up the whole screen. And mine's like half that size.
Oh God, this is awesome. This is, I'm just gonna do this the rest of the Q&A. Is that okay? Or is that just, that's stupid? Secret talents. When I think, well, I'm getting up here for a reason. I know I'm out of focus because the camera's focused for back here. When I think of secret talents, I think of weird things, I guess. I can move my nose. You can kind of see that.
Yeah.
I can also move my ears. And
That's weird.
I know, right?
I've seen it before, but...
and I can move those independently, left, right, both at the same time, or alternating. I can do them with my nose at the same time, which is weird, I guess. I can move my eyebrows. Can raise the eyebrow. For as long as I could remember, I could do my right one, and I've always been trying to get my left one quite, like, close, and it's just, I don't know, I haven't been able to do it. Actually, fun fact, for as long as I could remember, I could always move my right ear, and I tried so hard as a kid to get my left ear to move, and it took a lot of practice and concentration, and I eventually got it. Because I know some people are like, well, you have to be born with it and you can't like learn how to do it. I don't know how to explain how to do that, but I know that you can. I
have no idea even how to think about going about moving my ear because I don't know if there's a muscle.
Well, I used to be able to move my my left eyebrow much less. Like, I sucked at it, and it's just now. If I played with it a lot, I might be able to start doing it better. But anyway, other things I can do. I can do, I don't even know if this is considered a secret ability. Now I get to go back to foot cam. I can move my, like my toes individually, which is kind of weird. At least my pinky toe, and I kind of have to keep it on a flat surface to be able to do this. But let's see here, if I can get this to happen. And show you guys what the heck I'm talking about.
The lovely bottoms of your feet.
You can kind of see me wiggling my pinky toe there. Yeah, I mean, there's some other weird things, I guess, about me. I can twitch my lip. Which is kind of weird. I'm gonna stop. There's other things, but
so this question wasn't completely worthless.
Yeah, everyone got to see me move my body in strange ways, which is always exciting. Yeah, okay, secret talent. That's not, I don't know, secret talent. Okay, we'll just say that was secret talents. GustafaSN says, did you or Mao ever watch Digimon at any point in your life? Did you?
I loved it. I thought it was way better than Pokemon.
I hated it. Hated it so much. And it was one of those things when I was a kid, I was a big Nintendo fan, and Nintendo was Pokemon, and I loved Pokemon. So when Digimon came around, I was like, Digimon was just so clearly a knockoff of Pokemon. I was like offended it even existed. So.
I liked Pokemon, and I was really excited the movie, or Digimon. I really liked Digimon, and I was so excited when the movie came out. I was in Maine on a trip to visit my family, and Carly didn't go because she wasn't old enough yet. I sort of saved up for it and went by myself with one of my aunts. Anyway, Carly called me in Maine, and she's like, I went and saw the Digimon movie, and I was like, why did you go without me? And she's like, you'll really like it. And it took like a couple years after till I finally saw it.
Really? What kept you?
No one would go with me, and I was too young to go to a theater by myself.
So you had to rent it?
I'd wait.
Weird. Anyway, the other part of the question, because I'm not a Digimon person, says, what cartoon did you like as a child?
Samurai Pizza Cats, Bugs Bunny.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai Pizza Cats was good.
I was a big fan of Looney Tunes. I was a Nickelodeon child. I mean, even into my teen years, you know, when everyone else was like watching MTV or whatever the crap teenagers watch, I loved Nickelodeon. I loved Nickelodeon and I loved Cartoon Network, and I'm one of those people that feels like the old cartoons were the best, but I know that most of that's probably nostalgia talking. Although a lot of people have said, you know, with the addition of like Adventure Time and regular show, cartoons are like coming back and they're not just stupid and for children anymore. I loved Rocko's Modern Life. That's where my cat, now my parents' cat, got his name. I loved Cow and Chicken. I thought Cow and Chicken was hilarious, although I haven't watched it in a while. It's probably terrible. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I was scared of Courage because I had seen that one episode on Cartoon.
Which one?
It was Aliens.
Aliens.
And it scared me as a child.
Some of them were scary. Some of them were scary. The scariest one I think was the guy that did the haircuts. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I don't think I could get myself to watch it after the first one scared me
I've seen
so
pretty
bad.
much all of them. Me and my dad used to watch them together. But Cartoon Network was awesome.
Dexter. Powerpuff Girls.
I watched all the Powerpuff Girls. I've seen them all. In fact, I've even seen Nick Jr. stuff, because what would happen is in the summer, Nick Jr. would run in the morning. I'd be up, so I'd just watch it. At first it was one of those things like, oh, this is stupid, I'm gonna watch it, see how stupid it is. But actually I got really into children's television. I was too old for children's television, but I didn't care. I've seen a lot of episodes of Blue's Clues, Dora the Explorer, which is actually fairly recent. I haven't seen very many episodes of Dora the Explorer.
Avatar.
I've never seen Avatar.
I liked it.
I mean, I saw it like once or twice when it was on Cartoon Network back in the day, but it was
Nick.
Yeah, Nick. But the problem was, it was a continuous story, and I caught it like not at the beginning, and I didn't know what the crap was going on, so I was like,
and you can't forget how obsessed you were with SpongeBob.
Yeah, I was huge. Still am. SpongeBob's funny. SpongeBob is still funny. It's relevant. The humor is relevant to adults, and I know some people just don't like it, but I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and it's still funny. Cartoons that no one remembers. Cat Dog.
I remember Cat Dog.
People are like, and it's one of those ones that if you ask them to recall favorite shows, it never shows up, and when you say it, they're like, oh yeah, Cat Dog.
Recess.
It's solely, didn't watch Disney.
Pepper Ann.
Did not watch Disney.
That was Saturday morning.
I know. I mean, I'm familiar with it. I had friends that watched Disney, but I'd never once tuned into the Disney Channel.
No, I didn't have cable. I watched it at my mom's.
Okay, ABC got it. Yeah. ABC got it later, but it was originally on Disney. And I didn't watch ABC. Okay. Oh yeah, Kablam was good. Kablam, actually, the stars of the Kablam are Henry and June, and I always thought June was a really cool girl's name, and that's what I want to name our girl if we have a girl. Have I said that?
I don't know. I know it.
I just said that, so if we have a girl, I want to name her June. I don't know if I've said that, but I just said it. Let's keep moving. Alezicarus, Alezicarus. I'm so bad at this. I'm also tired. We drove today. We drove the last 2 days. It's been a week. What are some crazy dreams you and Mao had? Now this is the one where Mao's going to have an answer and I'm not. Because I don't have an answer for this, because I can't remember dreams. So what are some crazy dreams that you've had?
I have flying dreams a lot, and they're really cool. And I hate waking up from them, because once I realize I'm flying and it's a dream, I wake up. And it's really frustrating to me.
So you can like fly around and stuff?
Uh-huh. Sometimes I have like wings, and sometimes I can just like hover.
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman, oh.
I also, sometimes before I fall asleep, I hear a sound in my head that sounds like a bunch of plates dropping to the floor, and it wakes me up and startles me.
Isn't that a condition?
Yeah.
It's a condition.
But I get that a lot, like once a month. It's scary because all of a sudden you hear a bunch of plates breaking.
At least you don't have that condition that people, I don't forget what it's called. It's like something that people get usually at least once in their lifetime, and some people actually have it reoccurring.
Where they can't move?
where they wake up and they're in the dream, but they're awake and they're paralyzed.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called.
But it's normally accompanied by like a nightmare or something. A lot of people claim alien activity this way. It's because they wake up and they're still in the dream. They're dreaming about the aliens and they can see them because they're awake, and they're paralyzed and they can't move, and then that's how they wake up and they claim they've been abducted or whatnot, and it's actually just this condition. It's really cool, but really freaky. I don't think it's ever happened to me, but I would probably piss myself, and I would not be very excited about that. Actually, one dream that I can recall, because I had this reoccurring dream when I was a kid, and I might have talked about this in a Q&A in the past. I don't really remember, so excuse me if I have. I always had dreams when I was a kid that I was on top of a building. My mom used to work at a high-rise hotel, and I had dreams that I had gotten on top of this building and I was jumping off the building. It's not that I was like consciously jumping off, it's just that when the dream would start, I'd be in the middle of falling. I had fallen off the building. Why I was up there in the first place, I don't know. But I always had these falling dreams, and then you would wake up and you'd be like, oh God, like right before you hit the ground. And it's weird because it was very apparent what was important to me in my life at the time, because in those dreams there would be times where I would have it would be a very similar dream, but I'd be jumping into the pool, which would kill me because the pool is 8 feet deep and I'm, 10 stories in the air. But in the dream, I had a Game Boy in my pocket, which was common at the time. I always had a Game Boy with me. And the Game Boy was like sliding out of the pocket, and it was going to hit the water. And I always, in the dream, I would think, oh crap, I'm going to ruin that Game Boy. And I'd be like trying to reach out for the Game Boy. We're falling, I'm going to die. But I'm like trying to save the Game Boy. And it was just funny because now, years later, I can look back on that and be like, man, I really loved video games. Like I dreamt about saving my Game Boy from a watery fate, which is a little ridiculous. But I also had dreams I continually died in a white car, which was
creepy.
Friggin' creepy. I actually had that dream in my teens, and I had that dream like a few times a month, every month for like 2 years, and it like scared the piss out of me so bad that it was hard for me to drive white cars, which is something. Next up is Dpstatic. Dpstatic asks, do you think you would make a fictional video anytime soon like some of the ones you used to make? I think he's just referring to narrative films. I want to, really bad. In fact, I'd like to make some music videos, because there's been some cool ideas I've had for those. And it just goes back to the question we answered earlier, where we don't have time. I'd love to. I would love to make some narrative films again, because they're fun. They're so fun, and I feel like we could make some good ones. We have the technology, the people. We're moving back to Myrtle Beach. We have access to Justin, who makes amazing props. We have access to a lot of my friends who have different talents that they could help us in some way, and I just don't have any time. One day, if things work out a little better, then we'll probably do it. And honestly, the next thing I see myself doing in terms of a narrative film or a music video is probably another video for the game station. And I don't know when that's going to happen. I wanted it to happen this year, but it probably won't happen until next year. And then we have, oh, there's still a few. I thought that we were on the last one. We're not. LevyTheAmishMan says and asks, he does not say, I know that you both like the Mother games and that Stephen did the voice of Flint in Chugga's Mother 3 LP. What is your favorite character from the Mother series?
It's really hard.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's not that hard.
It's really hard.
The best character in the Mother series is an old man from Mother 2 who has various houses around Eagle Land, or sometimes not a house, sometimes he's just out in the open, and he holds a giant yellow sign that says hint. He is the best character in the Mother series. I'm serious. No, I'm really serious. And the reason is, when people got the game, they had the player's guide, so they never utilized the hint man, and he has interesting dialogue. They wrote all of this dialogue to help you through the game, because Earthbound's pretty hard, and it helps you get through any part of the game that you may be stuck in. At any point, you can talk to this guy, and it's updated, for wherever you are. And it's such a cool feature that no one got to utilize because when the game shipped, it came with the player's guide. I mean, now years later, I guess it makes more sense because if you can manage to get a copy of Earthbound and you're not looking online for a walkthrough, now I guess it makes sense. But as a kid, if you had a copy of Earthbound, no one ever used that guy. And no one, not even myself, is very familiar with what he says because we never used him. He's a forgotten memory of Mother 2, and I think if you're going to play through Earthbound, you should take the time to talk to him.
I like the Saturn that says Dakota.
Yeah? They don't say that till the end of the game.
I know.
They, don't they say something else weird at the end besides Dakota?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. But yeah, Dakota. That's an interesting one too. Like what? Yeah, it's so random. Dakota, oh, Wyoming. Like, why did they choose that? Anyway, and this question is for you, Mal. I recalled that you had a black cat when you were growing up. What, or can you describe the qualities that the kitty had?
You want to get my Mel picture off the wall?
I can do it.
Not that it'll focus unless you refocus the camera.
I can refocus it. Talk.
Well, Mel was... How old was Mel when he passed away?
Like 13? 13 or 14, I think.
There you go. I took that. That's my Mel. Melster, really.
Melster.
But, he was completely black. He was a little tiny cat. He was small. 8 pounds? 9 pounds? He was
sounds
a small
about
cat.
right.
And, I had him since I was in 2nd grade. And, he didn't like anyone, really. And, when he was younger, he hated even me. He wouldn't really sit on anyone's lap. He was really playful. He always liked rubber bands. Here, I have one right here. Here. And whenever I'd snap it, he'd go, meh.
He bad.
Yeah. And he would chase rubber bands and paper balls, and he liked to play a lot. But once he got to be older, he calmed down. He really mellowed out.
Mellowed out.
But he still pretty much only liked me. He would put up with other people, but he liked me best. Because when I would come home, as soon as I sat down, he was like instantly on my lap. Whether I had a book or a computer or anything on my lap, he had to figure out a way to sit there with me. And I'd stay up late talking to Stephen. And I always left my bedroom door shut because I didn't want him sitting in there on the day getting cat fur everywhere. But I let him sleep with me at night, and he knew when it was bedtime because I'd start to shut my computer down or turn off the TV or whatever. And get up and go to the bathroom and get ready for bed, and he'd follow me into the bathroom. He always followed me into the bathroom. He'd follow me to the basement to do laundry. And I'd go get ready to open the door, and he'd sit there at the bottom of the door and start pawing at the handle because he knew I was going to open it. And then he'd run in and jump on the bed and always sit in the same spot.
He was a good cat. He was Mal's cat. And that's pretty much what it came down to, is that he didn't really want to have anything to do with anyone else.
Even Stephen.
I had the pleasure of meeting Mel on,
you got his stat a few times.
On a few occasions. And I got his stat and did not like me. He wanted to sit next to Mal on the couch, wanted to be with Mal. When I was with Mal, he did not like that. And he let me know. He was like, hey, that's my woman. Get away from her. And how long has Mel been gone? Didn't he? He died in, I think...
January.
It was before the vlog.
It was before the vlog.
So if it was January, it was 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise there would have been something about it on the vlog. So he died about roughly a year before the vlog actually started. But he was a good kitty. And he had a friend.
A brother. They were
brother.
Litter mates.
Tabby.
Yeah, Carly's cat Tabby. He was 18. No, 14. He was almost Rocco's size.
But almost 21 pounds.
Tabby didn't really care who he sat next to. He didn't like me a whole lot.
He was Carly's cat.
Yeah, he was Carly's cat. But he loved Steph, too. Because when Steph would come over, she loved Tabby. And Tabby had a nickname. We called him Chubbas sometimes. Which is, like, because he was heavy. But we just morphed it into a different name, so it was like Chubbas. Chubbas, Chubbas, Chubbas.
Anyway, the next question comes from Waldowhal. Why did/does your mother choose to practice vegetarianism? Why is your mother a vegan?
Why are you talking to me? It's your mother.
Yes,
my mother-in-law.
For those who are not aware, my mom is a vegetarian. My mom's been a vegetarian for a long, long time. 30 years, I think. I don't know for certain. Well, not 30 years. Nearly 30 years. Over 25, I'm fairly certain.
She's never been a big meat fan before that, though.
No, the way my mom told me how she became a vegetarian is she grew up, wasn't a huge meat fan, always grossed out by the fact that, you know...
You'd cut a steak and there'd be red juices.
Yeah, there'd be, you know, blood or juices or anything, and she wasn't a big fan of that. And once she became married and started preparing food, and had to prepare the meats and prepare all the different things, she got really grossed out and basically said, this is gross, I don't want to eat this, I know what it looks like before it's prepared, and I'm just not a big fan of it. So she decided that she would not eat meat, and she completely went off meat. So it was never like it wasn't like a cruelty to animals thing. She's not...
Or a health thing.
Yeah, or a health thing. It's just that she got really grossed out and decided that she would not eat meat anymore. And
there's been times I see where she's coming from.
Yeah, and she stuck to it. And what's weird is that she actually continued to produce meat. She continued to prepare meat. She continued to prepare meat for my dad, because my dad, I mean, he wasn't phased. And so she still will make dishes, but she doesn't eat it herself. And what's actually really remarkable is that how good her food is. It's really weird because it doesn't matter what she's making, whether it's a hamburger or a steak or chicken or fish or anything. It's so good. And it's just one of those things that after, you know, 25 plus years of marriage and having my dad always be like, that's good, that's, you know, you could do this, that. I'm assuming that they've got the system worked out where the food is just delicious and mom never tastes it. So it's pretty incredible. It's actually really cool. And she didn't eat meat of any kind, but she does eat seafood now. And the reason for that is that when she was pregnant with me, she had read some journals or whatever about how fish, in particular, I guess seafood, can add to intelligence or something. And I mean, for all I know, the journal could have been very bogus, because now we know that like eating large amounts of fish is bad because of mercury. Yeah, because of mercury. But back in '88 or '89, that was a different story. And they were like, eat fish, make your kids smart. So my mom decided that since it would be good for my brain and also apparently for health reasons or whatever, that she would start eating fish. So she had been for, you know, a few years without eating any kind of meat, and she started eating fish and seafood, and now she likes it. So she is a pescatarian, technically, because she'll eat fish, but she won't eat anything else.
Pork, cow, or chicken.
Yeah, she'll eat sea creatures, basically. Anyway, that's it for this Q&A. If you enjoyed this Q&A in any capacity, please click that. Yeah, list your questions for next month, and we will get to them, like I said, probably in like 15 to 20 days, just because it's supposed to happen at the end of the month, and it's going to be the end of July before we know it, so we'll get to it then. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. And let's meet back next month for another exciting Q&A. The crap are you doing?
Exciting. Vigorous jazz hands.